Florida today on NBC 6 HD.
Do you know a spouse gets to claim the children in his or her tax return in the event of a divorce? Can alimony be claimed as an expense? Here to help answer these questions regarding a post-divorce income tax filing is lawyer Barry Finkel from the law office of Barry Finkel. Welcome. These are some big questions and timely right now because we're headed to tax day. Let's say you just got a divorce. What are some of the things you should be looking out for when you file the return before the 15th?
Well, you need to make sure that the proper party is claiming the dependent exemption. If you are a parent and you take care of children, they live with you more than 50% of the time, then you are entitled to claim the dependent exemption even if the other parent pays you child support. That is something that can be negotiated between the parties, but that's important for the parties to know which parent can take the dependent exemption. If each parent takes the dependent exemption and they both take the same exemptions, that's inviting trouble.
So I would imagine it's important to have all of this spelled out in advance.
It's very important to have the professionals, the lawyers and the accountants work this out when you're negotiating a settlement agreement. These are the types of problems that can cause a lot of animosity in the future. Once you think your divorce case is over, it should be over. There shouldn't be these types of things that pop up in the future that cause problems that you thought were already behind you.
Now, in the cases of money, things can be contentious. How do you, as a lawyer, try and keep that animosity between your client and the opposing attorney's client to a minimum?
It's important to negotiate these things during the divorce case so that they don't pop up for the first time after you're divorced and after you think it's all over. Good lawyers, good accountants can advise the people, know exactly what types of issues come up. For example, who's going to claim the mortgage and the tax deductions with regard to a house that both parties may own, whether or not alimony is going to be deductible or not deductible, knowing that child support is not deductible, knowing which filing status people can claim. These are the types of things that people need to be advised of, and it's important that the lawyers and the accountants take care of that when the opportunity is there to avoid the problems in the future.
And I was going to speak about the future. Is it important to try and look down the road? Say you have children who are, high school age right now, but they're going to be going to college. Do you need to, in those proceedings, try and figure out who's going to pay for college and those kinds of things?
Well, we as lawyers try to anticipate these types of problems that arise in the future. For example, paying for children college education in Florida is not something that's required. Once the child turns 18 or graduates from high school, a parent's obligation to provide support is over. However, parties can agree that they are going to be paying for a college in the future, which would be enforceable if it's in an agreement. These are the types of things that can be resolved and need to be addressed during the negotiation process.
And now, do you have to have specialty lawyers or accountants to deal with this kind of thing? Because it sounds highly technical.
Divorce law is highly technical. There are a lot of lawyers that are jacks of all trades. They'll do real estate, and they'll do personal injury and criminal law, and then dabble in divorce cases. These are not the types of people that should be handling more complex cases, because there are certain nuances in divorce cases that unless you do this full-time and you only do this and you're aware of it and you're reading all the law and the IRS rules and regulations, you wouldn't be aware of.
And I guess to that point, what's the danger in not having things spelled out and have things done right?
Well, for example, claiming dependent exemptions. If it's not spelled out in an agreement, both parties claim the dependent exemption, that invites an IRS audit. That will get flagged, and that's the last thing that you want is the IRS coming in and looking at your tax returns because of a silly mistake as to like failing to allocate the dependent exemptions.
All right. Well, we thank you so much for coming in today. Some great information. Yeah, we'll have to have you again. And tax day is right around the corner, so good to know these things. And to find out more information about how Barry Finkel can help you want to visit his website. It's bfinkelpa.com, or you can give his office a call at 954-776-1414. They are located in Fort Lauderdale. Now over to Napoli with our cooking segment of the day. Hey, Napoli.
Hey, Trina. Well,